Ever feel like we're stuck with blockchain tech that's kind of limited, like we're still in the dial-up days of the internet?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Exactly. Which is why I'm so pumped for this deep dive. We're cracking open the Polkadot white paper, draft one, no less.
Ah, the OG vision. Always exciting to revisit those.
Seriously, this document is like a time capsule of blockchain innovation. It's like they said, scrap the old rules, we're starting over.
And the cool thing about DOT, USDT.PDF, it's not just about building a faster blockchain. It's about a whole new architecture for the system.
Instead of one chain trying to do it all, are we talking multiple chains?
That's the big idea.
Yeah.
They laid out this concept of a relay chain, the foundation. It connects all these specialized chains they called parachains.
So that interchain communication the paper keeps mentioning, that's how these parachains talk to each other.
Bingo. Like imagine each parachain is a department in a company. Interchain communication is the network that lets them all share info and resources instantly.
Makes sense. So instead of everything getting clogged up on one chain, transactions can zoom between these specialized chains.
Exactly. And the paper argues that this can make transactions way faster and cheaper. They even suggest, get this, existing blockchains, like even Ethereum, could become parachains within Polkadot.
Wait, so Ethereum, with all its users and everything, could become like a specialized parachain?
It
Wild.
was a bold vision for sure. And it highlights this key problem they were already thinking about back then, data availability. It's like,
Yeah.
it's easy to prove a file exists, right?
Right.
But if you can't actually access it when you need it.
It's like that feeling when you know you saved a file somewhere on your computer, but can't find it for the life of you.
And on a blockchain, that file could be anything, valuable money, digital art, you name it. So Polkadot was already thinking about solutions for this.
Yeah.
They actually proposed several.
So no one-size-fits-all approach, huh?
Right. Each solution had trade-offs. Some put more responsibility on users to store data. Others relied more on a network of trusted providers.
It's kind of like choosing your cloud storage, right? Some are more secure, some are faster, different costs. But the point is, Polkadot was thinking ahead.
Go absolutely.
Yeah.
And remember, this was 2016. Blockchain was still a baby. The fact they were already wrestling with these complex issues is impressive.
Talk about forward thinking. It's like they were building a car while figuring out how to make it self-driving years before anyone else. But, okay, so who's in charge of making sure this whole system actually works?
That's where Polkadot's approach to governance gets really interesting. They had these four key players.
Yeah, one of them involved.
Fishermen.
You and your fisherman. All right, let's dive into how this blockchain aims to stay secure.
Okay, so we've got this whole network of chains, data flying around, but who's keeping things in check? Is there like a Polkadot CEO we need to track down?
That's the cool part. It's designed to be decentralized. Nobody's in total control. Instead, it's all about these four key players. You've got validators, nominators, collators, and, yep, you guessed it, fishermen.
You know, we got to circle back to the fishermen. Blockchain and fishing. That's not an everyday combo. Definitely a memorable choice, right? But hold your sea shanties for a sec, because first, we got to talk about the validators. They're like the elected officials of the Polkadot world.
Elected. There's actual voting going on.
You betcha. Anyone who's holding DOT, that's Polkadot's token,
Yeah.
they get a say in picking validators.
Yeah.
And these guys, they've got a big job securing the relay chain, making sure blocks on the parachains are valid, basically keeping the whole system running smoothly.
High stakes. What's to stop a validator from going rogue, though, taking the DOT and running?
That's where the bond comes in. To even become a validator, you got to put up a chunk of your own DOT,
Yeah.
like a security deposit. If they try to cheat or mess things up, they risk losing it all.
Okay, so there's a real incentive to play by the rules. But putting up that much DOT, gotta be pricey. Not everyone's gonna have those kinds of funds just lying around.
Exactly. That's where nominators come in. They're kind of like investors. They support specific validators by adding to their bond. Increases their chances of getting selected, and they get to share in the rewards if the validator does well.
Ah, so it's a team effort. But high risk, high reward, right? What about those collators you mentioned? Where do they fit into all of this?
They're the data wranglers. Each parachain has its own collators, and their job is to take transactions, bunch them up in the blocks, then hand those blocks off to the validators for checking and adding to the parachain's record.
So they're like the organizers, making sure everything's neat and tidy before it goes to the validators for the final stamp of approval.
Perfect way to put it. And they get transaction fees for their efforts, so it keeps the information flowing smoothly on their parachain. But now, back to your favorite topic.
Hit me with the fishermen. They're like the blockchain bounty hunters, right? On the lookout for any fishy business.
You got it. They're constantly scanning the network, watching for any validators trying to bend the rules or cause trouble. Catch a dishonest validator, and you get rewarded. Validator gets penalized, keeps everyone on their toes.
This whole system, it's brilliantly designed. Everyone's motivated to do right by the network, but getting people to trust a new system like this, building that whole ecosystem, that's got to come with some hurdles, right? I'm guessing the paper addresses that.
Absolutely. They knew that getting people on board, developers, users, the whole 9 yards, it was going to be a challenge,
Yeah.
especially with something as ambitious as Polkadot.
Classic chicken and egg, right?
Yeah.
Devs won't build without users. Users won't come without cool stuff to use.
And on top of that, new tech always comes with a certain amount of risk. People like what they know, even if it's not perfect, just because it's familiar. Getting them to jump to something new takes time, takes a leap of faith.
So did they make that leap? Did Polkadot become the king of the blockchain world?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Don't forget, this white paper is from 2016. Things have changed a lot in the world of blockchain since then.
New players, new tech. 8 years is a lifetime in the crypto world. What happened? Did Polkadot live up to the hype?
Let's just say the journey from white paper to real-world impact. Rarely a straight line. Definitely has some bumps in the road. But what they've done, it's pretty remarkable. To really get it, we got to shift our perspective a little.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Hit me with your best blockchain-powered crystal ball prediction. What's the future look like?
All right, so time travel complete. We've seen the grand vision laid out in this Polkadot white paper. But did it pan out? Did they take over the blockchain world?
Well, if this were a movie, cue the montage. Years of coding, team-ups, maybe a dramatic system crash or two.
And then boom, Polkadot on top of the crypto world.
Not exactly. Blockchain's got way more plot twists than that. It's never a one-player game, you know?
True, true. So paint us a picture. It's 2024. Where do we find Polkadot?
They did launch, got a whole ecosystem up and running, definitely beat that chicken and egg problem.
Okay, so people are actually using it. What for?
One of their big wins, decentralized finance, DeFi. You know, lending, borrowing, but all on the blockchain, no middleman needed.
And these are all happening on different parachains. Exactly. Each one's got its own spin on security, how user-friendly it is. Polkadot's like the foundation they're all built on. But it's bigger than just DeFi.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Supply chain stuff, tracking where goods come from. Then there's secure ways to manage your ID online, store data. Oh, and get this, there's even a parachain all about gaming.
Whoa, for real. So it's not just money moving around, it's like everything that could benefit from being faster, more secure.
And don't forget that data availability problem we talked about. They found some clever ways around that. Use something called erasure coding.
Erasure coding, that sounds kind of intense.
More like elegantly nerdy. Imagine you take data, chop it up, spread those pieces all over the network. Even if some pieces go missing, you can still put the original data back together.
Like some kind of high-tech puzzle. Okay, this is impressive stuff. So why isn't Polkadot everywhere?
Remember how much blockchains changed? Even Ethereum, which they thought might join as a parachain, they upped their game too.
Ah, so it's like competition breeds innovation.
100%. And that's what's so exciting right now. We're seeing all these different approaches to the same problems, pushing the whole blockchain space forward.
So instead of one winner, it's more like a collective win.
Exactly. And that's the legacy of Polkadot, right? They didn't just build a blockchain. They shifted how people think about blockchain, made it scalable, more useful.
So where does that leave us now and more importantly, our listeners? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway is we're living in a world shaped by these ideas, whether we realize it or not. This one white paper, years ago, it sparked so much innovation, it's still rippling outward.
So basically, keep your eyes peeled. The next time you see some mind-blowing blockchain project, look closer. You might just spot Polkadot's influence in there.